Welcome to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Linkowski. I'm the owner of Milestone Franchising, and I'm a certified franchise consultant. Franchise Focus is all about shining a spotlight on all things franchise related. And from time to time, I love to talk to professional services because when you're in business, you need those professional services to get your business up and rolling or continuing on. And today in studio, I'm really pleased to have Alexis Sonder, who is the Regional Managing Director for J. Galt Finance Suite. And welcome, Alexis.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, I'm very happy to have you here because we're going to get into what it is that you do because it's not really obvious from sometimes I interview people and it's very obvious. This is not obvious. So what I want you to do is just kind of tell me about yourself, what's your background and what led you to J. Galt Suite, and then we'll talk about what this is all about.
Yeah, sure. So I was born in Manhattan, raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I have a 25-year sales career in residential luxury real estate. And then I transitioned the past 7 years into professional matchmaking. So that's what I was doing prior to J. Galt. And my independent contractor contract came to an end. The laws in the state of New York around independent contractors had changed. And so that's where the company I was working for was based out of. And I was at a crossroads in my business and my professional life. And I was like, I want to do something where I can make a difference. I have a purpose. So I had the luxury of being able to take some time and really figure out what I wanted to do. I sent my resume out to a few places on LinkedIn, and I had an extensive interview process with J. Galt and loved their mission. Their mission is disrupting the industry of business finance, being able to help fund small businesses, and basically give them insurance for success, because 82% of small businesses fail for lack of cash flow, not optimizing cash flow properly. So as soon as I heard their mission to disrupt the industry, bring what's already been available knowledge to the big, huge Wall Street corporations and bring that to the little guys, and go after rescuing these small businesses, I was like, I'm in. What do you need from me? What do I need to do? And so I joined them, and I opened up my own LLC in the end of January, and I've been networking, getting the word out there, and just everything is just, like you were saying earlier, just lit on fire. I am so busy and just helping these businesses day after day, week after week. So yeah, and I got a big promotion on Friday, which I'm excited to talk about.
We're going to get into that. So we're going to because you just talked about a whole lot in that little intro. So you're with this company, J. Galt Suite, and their entire purpose is for helping small business. And you just gave a staggering statistic. 82% of small businesses. In what time frame? What is that covering? That time frame?
In the first 2 years of being in business. So.
Yikes, that's really horrifying, right?
I know.
So, and I'm helping people to get into small business, and the whole reason why I'm having someone like you on is to sit there and tell business owners out there that you need to have as many of the bricks to put in your foundation as possible so that you don't become part of that statistic, right?
Correct.
Right? So that's what's critical for that. So it's helping business owners, and when people hear that, it's like, blah, blah, blah. Everyone wants you. You've got your consultants out there, you've got this people, and it almost seems like everyone has their hand out. Everyone has their hand out. And I tell my candidates that. I'm like, you're going to be paying money to this person and that person and this person and that person. However, if you don't do it, it's going to really not be beneficial for you, right?
That's so true.
So you have this whole system of helping the small business owner. Walk us through what that means. How are you helping them? In what way are you helping them? Sure.
So we have a 7-step funding blueprint, which is a SaaS product, but that's not the star of our show. What the star of our show is the white glove consulting service layered on top of our SaaS product. So it's 7 steps to get through the building of business credit on the company's EIN number. And it's a 9 to 12 month process, but you're working thoroughly with a credit analyst who is paired with you from the time that you sign up to work with us. And it's a membership service. There's no contracts, no hidden fees. It's a one-time payment because all of the work is done in the first 9 to 12 months. So you get paired with your credit analyst and you immediately start working on steps 1 and 2, which is just making sure, step 1 is making sure that your business is credible and fundable on paper in the eyes of underwriters. That is super important. So what that means is making sure you have a valid business website, that you have a business address and it's not a P.O. box, which is an automatic denial for any kind of funding or financing on the EIN number. Your phone number for your business. It cannot be a cell phone because a cell phone won't be able to be listed with the 411 Digital Business Directory. And that is another crucial step. Underwriters check there. Who uses 411 anymore? I don't think I've used it since I was like 15 years old, but underwriters check there, and so we have to go with what the underwriters are looking for. So we guide our members to get a voice over IP if they do business on a cell phone, which most people do. It can ring to the cell, but it can be listed with the 411 Digital Business Directory. We make sure that the IRS and the information the Secretary of State has for your business, including the address, phone number, everything is matching. Because when underwriters check both places and their computer does a cross-check, if there's any kind of errors, a period missing, a comma out of place, or there's abbreviations on the Secretary of State but not on the IRS, it's an automatic denial as well. And they won't tell you that they're denying you for financing on your EIN. They'll just start asking you for your Social Security number, your back tax returns, proof of revenue, profit and loss statements, and then oh, okay, I've been denied for financing on my EIN number. So we dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and then step 2 is making sure you're registered with the 3 big business bureaus. Now this is a step that most people skip because they're going to YouTube. I like to call it YouTube University. They go to YouTube and they think, I see these people telling us and guiding us how to build business credit. I can do it myself, but I've spoken to so many people. Actually, a couple women I met at the Small Business Expo in Philly in March. They were like, I have business credit. I'm glad, let me pull your business credit report. So I usually start there. I pull their business credit report. I can see if they have a score, what their payment history is like. That's another qualification for building business credit, making sure you have a good payment history with these credit bureaus. And she had all cash transactions, no credit built, but she'd been working for 12 months. She was so upset, and just going through the steps with her, I figured out she missed step 2. She registered with Dun & Bradstreet, which is the big granddaddy of them all, but you have to register your business with Experian Business and Equifax Business. So there's business divisions of Experian and Equifax, and it's free to register, but you have to know to do that. So you have to build business credit intentionally and in the proper order, and that's why we have the steps. In our software, each step is locked, so the member cannot mess up. They will have to be working with their credit analyst for the credit analyst to unlock the steps as they go through. And then step 3 through 7 is just building credit. So applying for credit cards that credit card companies that we contract with. We have their approval profile, so none of our members will ever get denied. And you're working with your credit analyst to make sure you're picking credit cards that report to all 3 bureaus and that are relevant for your business. That's another crucial step. We don't want you spending any more money a month than you normally spend. So, and all you're doing is you're taking your business expenses you spend every month on, let's say a Chase Capital One Spark card, or a Chase card. Those don't report. Chase actually might report, but Capital One Spark card, #1 card in America, doesn't report. Amex, same thing. That's what you use for your business expenses. We're going to have you just transfer them from those cards to the cards that actually do report. And just a minimum of $50 per card per transaction. We're going to have you open 2 or 3 cards because not every card reports to all 3 bureaus. So you have to have a compilation of the cards that report to all 3. So one may report to Dun & Bradstreet, another one may report to Experian and Equifax. And then all you're doing is you're applying through our finance suite, you're spending and you're paying early, 3 to 5 days early. Not too early and not on time, because if you pay on time, then the payment will get posted either the next day or the day after, and in the business credit world, that's considered late. and you need a good payment history. So there's all these little nuances that we've figured out. We've cracked the code. We've done all the research. We know the credit card companies that report. We put it all nicely wrapped up in our finance suite and make it super easy and streamlined. So.
And listen, when you and I met, and we met via networking, shout out to Jessica Harrington, Stress Less with Jess, and I was blown away. I was going, wait a second, business credit? No one ever talks about business credit. I've been in business for 10 years, and I've never heard anyone ever talk about business credit. I know about my personal credit, and I know that all my clients have to have a good personal credit built up. Nothing about business credit. And it was like, boom, mind blown when you started talking to me about this. So you've got this elaborate system that's exactly lockstep for your clients so that you can start to build this business credit up. To what point though? What's the overarching goal that they're trying to attain with getting a good business credit score?
That's a great question. So business credit runs on a scale of 0 to 100. So it's totally opposite and counterintuitive to what we've all been taught with personal consumer credit. Personal consumer credit runs on a score of 300 to 900. So business credit is 0 to 100, its own scale. We want all of our members to be at an 80 plus at tier 4. So there's 4 tiers of business credit. Usually everyone starts at tier 1. Even if you've been in business for 20 years and you've never heard of business credit report, you probably have some business credit built up if you're a mature business, but you've unintentionally built it, so you don't have a lot of business credit available to you. So when I pull reports for mature companies, it's usually $1,000 or $2,500 they have available all on their EIN. But then when they go through our process, in 9 to 12 months, they get access to a minimum of $50,000 in business credit, but it's typically way more than that, especially if they are a capital intensive business and they have a lot of business expenses every single month, because that's what drives up business credit. But the goal is 80 plus tier 4, and then the longer that you build business credit, the more money banks want to lend. So it's all about utilization. So 80%, using 80% of what the banks give you, even on these corporate credit cards. Okay, so 80% of the balance, the limit that you have, you need to be using for the banks to be able to give you more. It's counterintuitive. That's what I mean by counterintuitive. With personal credit, the more you use, the lower your score goes. Your debt to income ratio gets too high, and then the banks won't lend to you anymore. That's when people come to us. They start building business credit, and then you're no longer, first of all, you're no longer personally tethered to your business. You are completely mitigating any personal risk, because when you have a business credit score of 80 plus at tier 4, you no longer need to personally guarantee any funding or financing for your business. It's all on the EIN number, and underwriters, the only thing they care about is a good payment history. And so you pay your bills early or on time, and that you have a healthy amount of business expenses going in and out of your account or on these credit cards that are reporting, and that tells the banks that you have a viable, healthy business.
Do you hear that? Do you hear this? This is why I have Alexis on here, because this affects every kind of business, not just franchise business. Every single kind of business can benefit from this. And one of the biggest and scariest pieces for my clients is having that SBA loan tethered to them personally, having any kind of loan that's tethered to them. So to be able to cut that shackle and be free of that is amazing.
Well, also with the SBA, they require a personal guarantee, usually your home. You're risking the roof over your children's heads, your wife, your husband. And so why do you need to do that? You don't if you build business credit, and you completely eliminate all of that personal risk. And then should your business go under, God forbid, for whatever reason, there should be another economic downturn or slow time in your business, whatever the issue is. If it fails or goes under, you can close that LLC or that S Corp and not be personally liable for any of it.
All right, we have so much more to talk about, so do not go away, and you're going to hear a quick word from our sponsor, Zoom One Media, so stay tuned.
That we both got got an awesome network and save money doing it.
I know, $25. I love that it's guaranteed for 3 years.
Hey, we're sitting on a sign here.
Switch and get Welcome Unlimited for $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. Verizon.
Have you heard? Join me, Heather Darling, weekly for a different spin on politics, business, law, and other key issues you will not want to miss right here on RVN TV.
You see, son, with a little elbow grease, you can do just about anything.
Thanks, Dad.
That's right, Robert. And it's never too early to learn you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
That's right, Jamie. But it's not just about savings. It's about the friends we make along the way.
You said it, Flo. And don't forget to floss before you brush. Your gums will thank you.
That's right, Dr. Gary.
Jamie?
Sorry, I had another thought, so I got back in line.
What was it?
I can't remember.
My dream day with Offset starts like...
Cardi, baby, get in. I surprised you with a place all to ourselves.
Thank you, baby.
You look gorgeous tonight, baby. We share our favorite McDonald's order.
And we start with a cheers. Let's eat. The Cardi B.
An Offset meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey.
Welcome back to Franchise Focus. I'm your host, Lisa Lankowski, and sitting with me is Alexis Sonder, who is the Regional Managing Director of Jay Galt's Finance Suite. And we just had an incredible first half of this program talking about how all businesses can take advantage of building their business credit with you so that they can have better access to money and better cash flow, better everything. So, this is all about franchising, Alexis. So of course this applies because every single business of the 500 that I represent are franchises. But you're specializing, your niche is in the trades. Right. And I represent all these home service businesses, that are restoration and painting and HVAC and you name it. I represent all of that. Why there? Why are you focusing on that area?
That's a good question. So business credit, to be able to build business credit quickly and to be able to get access to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, you need a lot of business expenses. You can do it with minimal. It'll just take you longer than 12 months. So this is for everyone with an EIN number that needs access to cash and capital, wants to grow and scale. But the trades are our #1 vertical because they're capital intensive businesses. So they float cash from job to job. They're constantly bootstrapping, self-funding, taking hard money loans. They go off after these predatory loans, which I can't stand. So these businesses are the perfect client for us because once they build business credit, first of all, halfway through the journey, once they have a little bit of business credit established, we can help them and guide them to the lender to take out a small line of credit on their EIN number and get all of that debt off of them personally, the business loans and credit cards and all of that, pay their hard money lenders. And then as they continue to build, all they're doing is they're taking their monthly business expenses and they're putting them on these cards. So imagine, a construction company that has $250,000 a month going in and out of their bank account on expenses. That's going to drive business credit up really fast.
Right.
And then banks see that, and underwriters see that, and they're like, wow, this is a really healthy, viable business. Okay, how much more money do they need?
Fantastic. So so anything in the trade world is really good. And then, a big concern, that 82% number is still wrangling around in my head. You have to catch up on the first half if you didn't see it. When I'm talking with clients, I make them say aloud that they may not cash flow for a year. Like that's a reality. They may not cash flow. You're just getting your business up and running. And that's very daunting for a lot of people, as it should be, because that's what can happen. But then what can end up happening is that you continue not to cash flow. You break even, but now you're still not paying yourself and doing that bootstrapping that you just mentioned. And you start reinvesting into the business, but you're not paying yourself. And that cannot last for long, right? And it starts to get very debilitating and paralyzing. So your program prevents the business owner from getting down that rabbit hole, because I had done that with my very first business. I didn't pay myself, it was 6 months-ish. I wanted to build credit. I thought I was building credit in my business. I wanted to build up equity in my business, right? But this is a whole different play. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, so exactly. Whenever I talk to these tradesmen in their businesses, that's usually that comes into play. Like, oh no, I just pay my guys, and I haven't taken a paycheck in months, but it's okay. I have ups and downs in my business. I'm like, no, it's not okay. You should be paying yourself first. And then they don't have the money or the cash to hire more guys. Their guys aren't reliable due to the pandemic. A lot of people are calling out. They're not wanting to work. So it's hard to find good, reliable people. But if you have the cash to be able to hire, maybe higher quality people, your business is gonna thrive even more. So what business credit gives you the option to do is to get access to lines of credit hanging out on your business, all on the EIN number for times that are slow. For another economic downturn, you can draw from it. You can, pay your guys. You can run payroll through it. The banks don't care what you use the money for. It's just like it's just like having peace of mind to be able to support those slower times, to be able to take the cash and hire a team to be able to go over, maybe to go after those commercial contracts that you wouldn't normally be able to go after, or like I said, hire quality people that are going to show up and that are reliable, or even just putting the money into purchasing new equipment, or having the money to fix your trucks that break down, or purchase new trucks to be able to go after bigger and better contracts. So having business credit and having the cash and capital available to you when you need it to seize opportunities is crucial, and then being able to pay yourself as well. So you're going to be guaranteed your business is going to succeed. You have the access to cash and capital when you need it, and you'll be able to take a paycheck. You'll be able to get your time back because you're able to hire people. You'll also be able to advertise more. You'll have cash for an advertising budget. You can rebrand. I just signed up a great landscaping company that he had purchased a couple months prior, and he wants to get into the commercial world. He also wants to rebrand and buy more trucks and buy more equipment. And so as he's building his business credit, he's watching his score go up. And now he's at the point where in a few months, the banks are going to start contacting him and asking him how much money he needs. So,
what kind of interest? The SBA right now is around that 8-9%. It's holding because the Fed did not raise the interest rate. What are we talking about for an interest rate with this kind of money?
So as you know, interest rates, they fluctuate. So going through the program, it's 9 to 12 months. I can't tell you what it'll be in 12 months, but typically what we're seeing now is anywhere from 2 to 7%.
2 to 7%. 2 to 7%, and it's variable, not fixed.
It depends.
It depends on what you're getting.
We contract with over 450 financial institutions, give or take, and that includes banks, credit unions, all these credit card companies. So they could be store cards, they could be, Home Depot and Lowe's, Apple computer, Dell computers. They could be gas cards, fleet cards. But anyway, we contract with these companies, and they want to get in front of our members, so they give us better interest rates and better terms for the loans and the lines of credit and the corporate cards.
Incredible, fantastic. All right, so we talked about that the number one reason for businesses that fail, and I see this, is not having that cash. Just to your point, your vehicle breaks down, and that could literally be the end of your business. Just like in the personal world, where some kind of appliance, your air conditioner breaks, or you get some kind of something happens with your roof and you need a new roof and you weren't planning on that. That can totally put someone under because they say that most people don't have 3 months of salary built in. And so that $500 to $1,000 could literally just crush someone in their personal life, let alone in your business life, that you're humming along and now you've got a $5,000 bill that you were not anticipating. You've run up all of your lines, your personal lines, and you're out. And so you just fold and you walk away, and now you've got a bank calling on you because they've got to get paid. So all of this is helping to mitigate that, which is amazing and such a burden to take off of business owners' shoulders, right? All right, so when you and I met, you were very kind, and I said, I didn't know anything about this. And I said, so I've been in business for 10 years. I thought I was building business credit. And you were like, well, let me run this for you. And my score came back as 55, and I'm a solopreneur. So what would you recommend to someone like me? Because I don't have a huge amount of expenses coming in and out, but this can still work for solopreneurs as well, correct?
100%. So like I said to you, I'm like, wow, Lisa, that's not a bad score. We want you at 80, you have 55. You only had a little bit of business credit available to you. I think it was maybe like, I don't know, a couple thousand dollars. Yeah. So imagine if you built that intentionally and you started this last year. By now, you would have probably anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 available to you in business credit because your expenses are minimal. So all that means is that it would take you a little longer to get up to the $250,000 in business credit, the $500,000 in business credit. It would just take you maybe 2 to 3 years rather than 9 to 12 months, but you'll get there, and we'll make sure that you get there going through our process, working through with our credit analysts. So it's just a longer time frame.
You're an LLC, so this is your business. You're not an independent contractor. Are you bound to any kind of specific geography, or can you work anywhere?
I can work anywhere. We're all remote. My title is Regional Managing Partner of Philadelphia.
Right, and you got a promotion.
I did. I got a promotion.
How does that work? What does that mean?
So I was promoted to State Director of Pennsylvania in training. So I have to go through training before it really becomes official. But what that means is I'm going to have a team of regional managing partners underneath me who are basically selling and rescuing these businesses, closing all the deals for the executive consultant team that's underneath the regional managing partner. They're the people they're the backbone of our consulting practice. They're calling on these businesses, they're setting appointments. Regional managing partners are closing the deals and rescuing them. And then the state director basically is making sure that from a higher level, that 30,000 foot view, sort of like a CEO, I am the CEO of the state of Pennsylvania. So I'm going to be looking into getting involved with the trades associations, subcontractors associations in Pennsylvania, the plumbing, heating and cooling associations, and making partnerships and collaborations with these associations so that we can get in front of all of those thousands, hundreds of thousands of members and offer our services at a way higher volume.
Fantastic. And we're going to put Alexis's information up on the screen so that you can reach out to her. Alexis, thank you so much for joining Franchise Focus. This is worth every ounce of everything to everyone that is watching. It does not matter. Everyone that is thinking about getting into business or they own a business, this is something that they really need to have available to them. And this is Franchise Focus. Franchise Focus airs every Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you can learn all about me at my website, which is at milestonefranchising.com. Until next time, thanks so much for watching.